Kia ora and welcome to the Creative Matters podcast, where we have inspiring conversations with New Zealand artists. I'm your host, Mandy Yarkich. These conversations are intimate, uplifting and insightful. The guests on this show have absolutely enriched my life, and I'm sure their stories will have the same effect on you. Thank you so much for joining me to listen to these amazing people speak about what drives them, the way they work, and their personal takes on life. Hello and welcome back to the Creative Matters podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. This week I'm speaking with Elliot Collins. Elliot is a text-based artist from Tāmaki Makaurau, Auckland, currently living in Taranaki, who works in an interdisciplinary way.
And I just didn't want those boundaries around my practice. So yeah, I wanted to be able to do it all. I'm pretty greedy. I do love it all. I think that's why. Greedy or don't want to be bored. It's a tricky balance between the two. Yeah.
He incorporates painting, language, photography, installation, and sculpture to discuss ideas of time, memory, and ways we interpret our environment. Elliot is interested in the art that can inform our lives and can be used as a filter or divining tool to see the world we inhabit with greater clarity. I so enjoyed meeting Elliot today and chatting to him in my studio. We discuss his amazing art career of nearly 20 years, how he works and connects ideas as an interdisciplinary artist, how he comes up with the words for his paintings and what they mean to him, and his thoughts on exhibiting and selling his work. And he talks about his latest show, which opens tonight at the Keeper's Cottage in Albert Park, Tāmaki Makaurau. I hope you can all make it along, and that finishes on October the 8th. Morena, Elliot.
Morena, Mandy.
It's lovely to have you here in the studio at Muriwai.
Yes, it's nice to be back in West Auckland as well.
Yeah, it's great, and it's just always nice to have somebody in the studio on our chairs and relaxing, not on Zoom, which is always a bonus.
Yes.
Yeah, so welcome to Creative Matters.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm really looking forward to hearing all about your very interesting practice, which is very complex, really, and has so many different elements. So being an interdisciplinary artist, you've got your fingers in a few pies.
Yes. Yeah, I do. And again, I was listening to previous episodes, realizing how much artists don't really love talking about themselves. So I'm like, good luck. It's a real range of things that I do. I think I get bored really easily. Yeah. So I have to keep not being bored.
And thinking up new stuff to stimulate.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood?
Yeah, I grew up in West Auckland, in Ranui, deep west, and in a very non-creative household. It was pretty much, art wasn't really talked about. It was a very strange, probably really normal household, actually. 2 working parents. Yeah, very standard. I'm the youngest in the family, the only boy with 2 big sisters, and I think from quite a little young age, I was quite a strange child. I say strange. Some people say unique or special, but I think I was like weird or strange. And art seemed to be the thing which like sort of attached itself to me. And then sort of going through primary school, high school, really started getting more and more involved. It was kind of the only thing I was any good at high school. Didn't excel at most things. Wish I had, because you really need, turns out after high school you really need that stuff. You really need those STEM subjects. But I just did the STEAM, the art subject. But art was the main thing that really really stuck, and I was really encouraged. And by what was year 13, I had this really, really pivotal moment. I had incredible art teachers at high school, but a pivotal moment when I think I did a work experience for 2 days at the Auckland Art Gallery with Ron Brownson. And terrified, obviously. He's this giant in the art world. He'd been there, since knowing him more now, he's been there for 100 years. But incredible person, incredible brain. And it's sort of this, it was the start of me meeting people who didn't teach me how to make art, but how to be an artist, or how to think about art, or how to be in the art world. And he's got this incredible knack of just looking and perceiving, and yeah, he can be silly and fun, but he's also really, really sort of, he's got this clarity, which is amazing.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy, Ron. Oh, that's a lovely thing to be able to experience at high school.
It was. From Massey High School to Auckland Art Gallery was a bit,
big leap.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. And how come you ended up having that kind of work experience, and how did you actually tee it up?
I think it was probably just a careers. No, it was one of the careers counsellors or health teachers knew someone who knew someone and said, "Hey, can you just go and they just asked me to trail behind." I really was just running around after him for. I think I got coffee, and I did do one job. We had to go down into the vaults somewhere. I can't. My memory is very vague. Into the vaults and look at and find titles for artworks. It was this wild time. So it was just a very lucky sort of accident. Lucky break. Yeah.
Yeah. And what kind of work were you doing at that time? I mean, you're doing so many different things now. What were you interested in at high school?
At high school, I was doing painting and photography at high school, and doing the standard bursary board thing, which still happens. Not bursary anymore, but it still happens. Those boards keep running through. But I was also in my other time, my after school time, again, still quite weird in high school, I was sort of plastering my walls with all sorts of creations and art, and really, to my mum's horror, my bedroom was a terrible mess of artwork. It wasn't dirty. I don't think I was a dirty teen, but it was a mess. It was actually, and it would be cutting out National Geographics, doing some collage. I had all sorts of random things, driftwood. It was quite hilarious. Now it's a little cringy now, but really it was kind of amazing to be able to do that. Yeah, I think it was a little rebellion from my parents' divorce, which was quite good that Mum let me do it.
Well, that's good. One way to process it. Yeah. And I mean, you're obviously at that point really sort of thinking creatively and thinking about art. So where did you go after high school?
Well, my career, again, the one time I went to the school counsellor for something, they said, "Oh, it'll be better when you leave here." And I said, "Oh, that's really terrible advice for a 17-year-old." Looking back, it's absolutely accurate, and it was. And I think what he was really meaning is, "Oh, you're going to go to art school. You'll find your people," and you really do. So I went to AUT for my undergrad, which is really incredible. And you turn up feeling very special and unique. And about day 3, you realize, oh, we're all the same. We're kind of, you find your crowd, you find your people. And even within that group, you find your real core group, which is quite cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's that kind of place where you make lifelong friendships, I guess. Yeah. And so nice for for kids to come out of high school and then, like you say, go to that place where you're like, oh, everyone understands me.
Yeah. Because it's so often you in high school, you say, "You know what I mean?" And they would say, "No, I don't know what."
Yeah.
That's a weird art thought. And then you turn up at art school and they go, "Yes." They yes and you. They go, "Yes." And have you thought of this? And they sort of level up, and it's incredible. Yeah, that was a real pivotal moment, that sort of first week of art school. Yeah.
And what were you doing at art school?
Well, yeah, I mean, I did the Bachelor of Visual Art undergrad, so that was just everything, which I love, and that's what I think. I mean, I would say everyone needs to go to art school, even if you're not an artist, even if you're not going to be an artist, go to art school, because you learn to think and you learn to look at the world differently. And I picked up, again, they pretty much make you pick up every material, turn it around, move it around on the canvas, move it around on a plate, burn it, maybe not taste it, but I'll probably taste it. And just to get your head around how you want to be in the world. Yeah.
And you loved it.
I loved it. Oh, yeah. Big time. That was, yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it, how some people love it and some people really don't love it.
You hear bad stories about how terrible art school is for people.
Yeah.
And they drag themselves through it. I was the opposite. I would be there early, stay there late. Yeah. I'm quite compliant, so maybe I'm just the goody two shoes in me went. Oh, good, I can toe the line within these boundaries, and I can see results. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't find I needed to push against any system at art school. I think I'd been doing that up until that point, and so the freedom of art school was really, really broad.
Yeah, and doing something that you love doing.
Yeah, I mean, I might be speaking from privilege that my biggest freedom was leaving a rugby high school.
Yeah, Massey High. That's where my kids went, actually.
Yeah.
It's a good school.
It's a great school.
Yeah. So what kind of work were you creating, and sort of how were you heading? Had you started to already explore lots of different parts of your practice then?
Yeah, it does start then. And looking back, it's always really fascinating what you miss. What sort of, I think, and I'm a painter, and I would still say I'm a trained painter because I chose the painting sort of stream to go through. But I think I chose painting because they said, oh, you can just do anything. That was really that was the best. You know, here the photographers, which were very strict, and you've got the sort of the printmakers, and they've got their file process and their perfection and sort of highly restrictive and a very particular type of person as a printmaker. And I just didn't want those boundaries around my practice. So yeah, I wanted to be able to do it all. I'm pretty greedy. I do love it all. I think that's why. Greedy or don't want to be bored. It's a tricky balance between the two. Yeah. Week 2 or 3, they said, "Oh, no more words, and you're not Colin McCann," which is really good. Again, all good advice, and that you take it pretty hard, and then you realize, oh, that's about finding my own thing. But I think I've always painted the landscape. I've always been quite poetic. So even back then, there was always a lot of, and maybe I was trying to be a bit protesty, but then I realized who I am. I don't have much to protest about. So I just thought, actually, you can be more poetic. You can tell stories. I'm quite an introvert, so I love going to parties, but I like sitting in the sort of background listening to people. I hate entertaining. I hate being the entertainment, but I love being entertained. I love that sort of engagement. So it was always sort of overheard conversations, little things like that, but lots of just messy paint. I just like putting paint. Again, I do like just putting paint on canvas, and I like the process and color, and can be really, really basic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful process. And were you creating abstract works as well as landscape works at that time?
Yeah, I think because you get you get a project brief at art school, you kind of just find your new thing, and you find each process, you find a new avenue, and you say, actually, maybe I want to do a portrait, and then you realize you're not that good at portraits, but you've done it for the project, and you sort of, you do okay, but it doesn't light you up. But so I'm moving more into abstraction, more, I think I definitely landed on that abstraction, the ideas-based art making rather than figurative painting for to copy a photo. Yeah.
So, I mean, you can see that in your practice now that it's all quite sort of ideas-based, and you said earlier that often what you end up creating is just in response to an idea or an observation. So did you, after university, what did you do then?
After I was released, I think it was. In Auckland at the time, it was such a cool time to be making and having. I had a studio on K Road. I sort of lived that art life. It's really exciting. You go to openings, 3 nights a week. There was a cool community, so that actually was really sustaining for a while. So that's what you did. It's what you also what you aimed for. There was artist-run spaces. There was random things, projects. You have a studio with a tiny studio with 4 mates. So this, and you're paying something like $40 a week or something. And you've got your cool cafe job to supplement that, and you're working. It's definitely Midnight Painters Club, but that was kind of the pinnacle of life. That I'd made it. I think that was a really fascinating time to go, oh, this is what I dreamed of doing. It's super romantic, but it kind of was awesome. Yeah. And
did you ever fear that you weren't going to make it and you wouldn't be able to make a living?
Oh yes, I think. But you're instilled at that in art school. Like you won't. No one makes it. They can't. You won't make it. So they said one of you will make it, maybe. So I think that was. It's kind of good reality check. It's a sad reality check because. I'm not sure. I bought it. I do understand it. That that messaging, but it's sort of could be a little bit more positive. Maybe you won't be like a super famous millionaire, but you might do okay. You might survive. Yeah. But I think but even from art school, even during art school, having jobs meant you didn't have to sell out. You didn't have to do things someone else wanted. You could do your own thing, which is really important. That autonomy of having a part-time job or a full-time, well, maybe not a full-time, a part-time job is really helpful for art because it meant I could just close the studio door and that was my time, my space. I didn't have to answer to anyone because you'd done that all day when someone wanted a coffee order. And
yeah. You don't need that. Yeah. And so you've been a full-time artist really your whole adult life.
Yeah. I think which is amazing. I'm being shy about that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. So how many years?
Possibly 20 years. I'm like, how old am I? Possibly 20 years. I keep saying 15 years for about 20 years. Yeah. So and it's quite nice to say that now as well because I didn't. Again, those big dreams when you're 18, heading off to art school, thinking, I just want to be able to make art every day, and
and you have.
And sell it maybe and have jobs and do cool art and know cool people. And I sort of have done that, which is maybe why these podcasts are quite cool because you get to reflect and you hear people reflect on them.
Yeah.
I'm like, everyone's talking about their things they wanted to do when they grow up and they're doing it. It's quite weird.
It's so good and it's so encouraging to hear those stories.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are a lot of people I've spoken to on this show that, it's only been the last 10 years maybe that they have become artists and not everybody manages to do that sort of from school through university and devote their lives to that. So it's great you've done that.
It wasn't easy. I'm not going to. It definitely wasn't easy.
No.
There's definitely quitting days, which are just as probably happen more often than successful days. But yeah.
And what did you find most challenging about that sort of full-time artist label?
Well, it's not really a job, is it? And I think that's what's so funny though. I'm like, and I didn't really ever want a job. That's why I'm like, oh, fine, I got this job I didn't want, which is art. And yeah, I don't know, expectations, probably managing people's expectations of what it means to make and do this art thing. Sometimes it's not constant work. Sometimes it's sitting and thinking in a room and staring, and sometimes it's going for a walk, and sometimes it's reading a book or just talking to people. Actually, the expanded world of art making is quite hard for people who outside maybe don't understand that that I need to have a conversation with you. Otherwise, ideas aren't going to come, and I'm not going to. The energy well, that well of stuff that you need to draw on is pretty empty if you've not done all those other things.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people wouldn't really appreciate that, all that thinking time and being in the right headspace for an artist. And
I mean, they do see the end result, which I think is tricky because, of course, they can often, if the artwork looks great, they go, "Oh, awesome! This is how did you get here? How long?" Or they just say, "How long did it take?" Oh,
I know, that's a terrible question.
The rage. I'm like, so often I just say, "Oh, a couple of minutes," just to really throw people off, or I say 38 years. Because, it's taken me, it never does, but...
there, you've got your age.
There you go, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you found it. Good. Yeah. No, I mean, that's so true. It's what Picasso said, wasn't it? He's taken a lifetime to learn to draw like a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes, when you do that, it makes absolute sense when you're in it. You're like, I have to unlearn so much.
But it's also that whole journey, your entire life, that has informed everything you make.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Which is, again, hard to explain to someone in a pithy little art gallery opening. You're going, oh, what's this about? Well, I was born very young and, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, it's complex. But, good on you for having such a long, successful career.
Thanks, yeah. I think it's
brilliant.
I hope it continues.
I'm sure it will.
I'm making plans.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. You can tell us about those plans a bit later.
Yeah.
So let's just start talking about your practice, your art practice. So you are an interdisciplinary artist as opposed to a multidisciplinary artist, so we can talk about that. That's how you think of yourself. Mm-hmm. And your practice covers photography, abstract landscape paintings, paintings with text, sculptures. You also create words on paper and other abstract paintings. and then installations as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite a varied, amazing
Do it all.
practice.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where you're going to start, but can you tell us about
Neither do I. I never know where
work?
I'm starting. I think we talked earlier about you start with the idea and you try and respond to it, and all of a sudden the idea says, "Oh, it's a photograph," and you go, "Oh, I've got to," and then all of a sudden you got to go through this process of picking up a camera and getting your brain back into looking through a viewfinder and composition and light and it's amazing. And then I'll sort of do a series, and it'll be in my brain I'm like, this is really good, and then the idea will go, and now you also need to have a painting about this, and you're going, oh, I've got to switch this brain, which is great, and I roll my eyes because it's like this fun hard stuff that makes art interesting to me. I think if it was easy, I'd again be bored, so I'd not do it. But the idea's there, and then which always happens first. Sometimes even a title will come first. Words often come first. I do lots of writing. I don't do much drawing. Or much planning or sort of drafting, but I'll do a lot of writing and just a lot of. And normal it used to be in my notebook, because I am of an age where I didn't have a cell phone to note things down in, but now it's all in my notes, and there's just screeds of random notes. I look very weird, so I'll stop, because again I can only do one thing at a time, as my people are known for, and males, my people, and. So I'll just have to be stopped, and especially if the idea comes to me, if I don't take it down, if I don't collect it, grab it, hold on to it really tightly, it does just go. I think that's a very it's the thing about creativity I've learned, is that you cannot sleep on it. If it comes to it's 10 o'clock at night, you go, oh, I'll remember this. I'm a bit tired. It'll come to me, and that morning that an idea came and left in the night.
Yeah.
And. So that's probably why I'm a bit furious with my sort of recording and note taking. But yeah, and I think I'm interested in materials. I love finding new things. I love art galleries. I don't particularly. I would much prefer to go to an art gallery of a group show or a collective or something bigger than just an artist's solo show. Just tearing because I'm having one, which we'll talk about later as well. But yeah, I think I really love the collision of things. I love, which is maybe why I like being an interdisciplinary artist, because I wanted to be a solo artist who could have an interdisciplinary practice, which looks like it's drawing on all these different things. I love the way materials talk to each other, different formats talk to each other. Yeah, I think I love the conversation between things, and not necessarily just the text. Obviously, I write text on my paintings and on some giveaway takeaways and on different things, but I think I love the I love things that chat together, or things that fight, or things that agree all together. I'm talking very weird esoteric thing, but
I love it.
Yeah,
I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think when you go to people's homes and they have different artworks, I think that's the best thing, is to find people who just put all their favorite art together, often even if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It really does work, because it's a picture of them. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's what we have upstairs. That sort of eclectic collection of work that talks to each other, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I love. So that's really interesting. I mean, the text, you are a text-based artist, is how you call yourself. So it's interesting because it's not, you're not bound to that. You don't feel like every work has to have text in it. No. Which is interesting. So can you explain that?
Can I? I can't. I think I've been trying for so long to explain this. Yeah, I think because there's something about the talking and the communication thing which I'm not very good at, especially I'm terrible at standing in front of a work and talking, so I just think, put the words into the work, and then the painting will explain itself, and then if it inevitably it doesn't, because people go, what's this work about? And I'm like, I've written it literally on the painting, or this is a piece of paper you can take away to really pack. And I think it's like how poetry works, when people sort of read a poem and it doesn't quite get you until it sinks in, or it sort of the poem reads you, or but I think, and I've got a little bit of a process with a vinyl lettering, and it's sort of a reverse stencil, which is my process for making it, which I'm not secretive about. That's just I think that's what's Yeah, the process isn't really as important as what the content or the context of the words. I'll be painting a picture with the words. Ugh, it sounds terrible. I'll be the way poetry builds a world. I like to do those two things, and also because my paintings also have paint and color and light. I still like doing that. So I like, it's almost like this sort of double speak that our paintings are always doing. They're saying one thing with paint and they're saying another thing with words. Sometimes they'll blend, or they'll sort of refer to each other, but other times they just sort of are quite removed, which
all contrasting.
Yeah.
So how do you come up with the words? I mean, when you're thinking, are you thinking, okay, I'm going to make a painting with words, or are you just kind of exploring your words and then at that you take something from that to become part of a painting?
Yeah. Good question, Mandy. Don't ask me this. What do I do? It's a bit of everything. Sometimes I'll have, I kind of get on a roll with a theme, and there'll be, well, possibly for my whole life, there's been just this rolling theme, but there'll be things get sort of turned up a little bit more, and it'll be a bit more environmental, or it'll be a bit more about sadness. It'll be about nostalgia. There's always sort of a theme, and then pulling things apart. They're often quite important things to me, but I don't like to be too preachy or sort of telling everyone what to think or how to think. So maybe I do that in a poetic way because of that. So I'll shift it into poetry rather than protest.
To make it a little bit more subtle.
Yeah, I just don't like people yelling at you about what you should think and how you should feel. But I love people saying, "Hey, have you seen this?" That's why I love when someone goes, "Have you seen this artist thing on? No, go online, look at this." Or I love getting those little way markers to other places. I think that was that's always the best, which is why I need people in my life to go, because I can't do all the research all the time. But if they go, you need to look at this person, or have you seen this movie, or listen to this song, like there's always someone going, oh, good. And so maybe that's just what I wanted to be as well, but in my own way, saying, have you thought about this in my perspective?
So are you processing a lot of your thoughts and ideas through writing?
Yeah.
Initially?
Yep. Yeah, I do, and obviously the first draft is terrible, and you have to sort of mulishly drag yourself through and edit and read it. Hopefully it looks effortless, like these words just appear on canvas. But some of them have been with me for 10 years, and just sort of I have to drag around in sort of my computer somewhere, in the depths of my computer somewhere. But I'll know that they're there, and I have to drag them up, and all of a sudden I'll just rewrite or tweak, or something will shift. And it'll fit and work. So it's almost like collecting. I do collect things as well. I collect objects, but also collecting words is a real big part of my practice.
That's very cool. What do you mean collecting words?
Or collecting lines. I sort of collect them to store them. I mean, one day I would love to make it an archive or something. I don't know, Is it your own words that you've thought of, or do you notice words or phrases and collect those as well? I think it's my own words, because I've worked with some artists who actually who take other people's words and they always reinterpret that and reuse them, and which I love, but I don't do that. They're all my own. It's my own. And when I do use someone else's, that inevitably the painting doesn't work. That something shifts in my attitude towards it that I don't have a connection to, or it's not close enough. There's pretty sort of no vulnerability with someone else's words, which is possibly why I always wanted to go and be an actor. From high school, I did drama and art, and I was like, should I be an actor? But I think my impetus for not doing that was, you're always using someone else's voice when you're an actor, but I think as an artist you can use your own.
Unless you become a writer.
That's which I'd love to do as well. That's true. Yeah,
well, you kind of are a writer.
Short, very, very short form. Yeah.
That's okay. That's still, you know.
Yeah. But it's hard. This stuff is hard to do. Effortless like reading is a beautiful thing, but writing is the hard part.
So interesting. It's fascinating practice. And so the paintings and the text, the recent ones anyway, are quite abstract and colourful. Can you describe to somebody who's never seen that kind of work how it looks?
It is very, was Adobe? Do people understand Adobe painty? I love seeing brush strokes in work. I use a lot of oil paint just because I like its sort of truthfulness to colour. It doesn't dull down when it dries, or darken when it dries. It's really the paint you put on the canvas is the paint you're going to see. A lot of these recent works are actually based on the shadow of the kōwhai tree at my house that I've quickly outlined, in hot days when it's really high contrast shadows, and you get to. And I wanted to reference something to do with nature without me controlling it. I'm always trying to, because I control the writing so much. I wanted to do another thing which is a little bit out of my control. Which is almost like the painting as well. So the outline is this sort of, again, this is not very helpful for a podcast. The outline of the shadow of a kōwhai tree, which moves and shifts in the wind, and I've tried to quickly pencil sketch that out. Then I've gone back and interpreted it with paint, and I just sort of want color, and they reference a little bit of the tone of the work, like the tone of the writing. But normally they're pretty bright and hopefully rich colors. I keep attempting to dull my colors down. I really love seeing those sort of drab, like Morandi sort of still lifes. They've kind of really muted colors. I haven't quite got there yet. I think I'm too excited about color, and a new color will be mixed, and I'm thrilled, and it sort of takes over. Yeah, and I think there's something about a lot of the language is quite sad or nostalgic, or quite slow and calm. So I think the painting has to shift that in contrast with a bit of brightness or joy or something in there. Yeah,
that's beautiful. And you referred to the stenciling process. Can you tell us about that a bit more?
Yes, I use a vinyl cutting machine, and so instead of using a stencil over the top of everything, it's almost like the vinyl stickers go down first, and everything gets painted out with a bit of a gesso or just a primer. So the words almost get lost from that very beginning. So I sort of forget a little bit sometimes about what the words say. And then the oil paint goes on, and you're sort of making this work, and then you reveal the letters underneath. So the stickers get peeled off with a bit of paint, and it's often the white of the canvas, although I have experimented with a few other colors underneath. But I like the shift of, rather than having black text on a white page, it's white text on a colorful something. Yeah. So it doesn't, which is why it's not they are paintings and not sort of pages in a book.
Yeah, totally. And they're so beautiful, and the sort of sharp line of the font is so nice with the sort of more fluid.
It is a nice thing. There's little things which why they kind of stuck with me, and I'm like, I quite like this.
Yeah,
the contrast of the sharp and
definitely.
Yeah.
And does it become sort of like the paint becomes quite raised, and then it's flatter?
Yeah, because there's a real like impasto sort of effect with some of it. Nice. Although again, but then I play around with it. I've done another work which is just really, really thin paint, and it starts to just sort of look more like a tablet, and it's quite quite nice.
And do you have one particular font that you like to use?
I do. A friend of mine, he gave me a font. He gave me a font. We worked together. Al McCready, he's a typeface designer, incredible graphic designer. Again, this is why you need people. And he based his text on monument typeface, so fonts that he finds in gravestones and different monuments, and it's the type's called Pukekawa, which is based on the sort of Orca Museum typeface and things like that. So there's always depth in things that aren't immediately obvious.
That's a lovely sort of story behind. And you use the same font every time?
I have, I moved into that because I was always looking and searching, and then for my my PhD sort of presentation, that Peter Gilderdale, who was again a typeface sort of legend, said, do you know what this typeface means? And I didn't, and it was really humbling. I went, oh, I see. So even typeface even fonts have a meaning. They've got history and they've got whakapapa. So I was like, okay, maybe I should. I'm gonna brush up on this.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. So what was your PhD?
It was called Memory Markers in the Landscape of Aotearoa, New Zealand. And yeah, it was incredible. That was very cool. So postmasters, again, this was not all at once. I didn't do a 9-year stint of, that'd be awful. People have, but not me. So yeah, travel, hospo jobs. Yeah, so the PhD was in the last, I think I graduated in 2019. And it was a practice-led thesis as well. So you make the work, you do the research, and you produce sort of a very extensive thesis, as well as an exhibition. So it's quite at the end of those 4 years. So it's basically the culmination of 4 years worth of work and research. And
wow.
yeah, very cool.
Amazing.
That was the best. Yeah, that was very cool. And I went back to after quite a long time away from uni to go back to that community and back to that immersive environment again, which is it's a little bit of a cop out. Like, I'm an art student now, so I've got to go and now I have to spend 12 hours in the studio.
How amazing.
Yeah.
And what made you decide to do that?
I think just I'd sort of been showing up for a little bit. I had gone a couple of residencies overseas, and the community kind of just, I think I needed the community, I needed the stimulation, because again, making art's pretty lonely. I wanted to challenge myself because I think my work's getting a bit stale, because you start to repeat some things and you go, well, this is a bit, I think I've done this before. Or I wanted to think a bit harder about what I was doing, which I think having sort of dealer galleries don't necessarily want you to think too hard about what you're they want you to keep making and not thinking. Yeah, which is, that's not all dealers. Some people want you to not, just make nice things. And I didn't want to make nice things. I wanted to make good things, there is a difference.
Yeah, totally. That's so interesting. And how did you come about deciding on your thesis?
My thesis, oof. I'm a bit of a wanderer. Wanderer, but I wander around a lot of, I don't know, I think there's still with the landscape thing, I was really interested in the way, I started sort of with that McCann reference, the way he did literally write on the landscape, on his landscape paintings, but I was really interested in the way that New Zealanders, or that we, I don't know who that is, make memory or keep memory and write down public memory. And it could be as simple as like monuments or plaques, but also these little really sort of they're public-private memorials. So I don't know, just different road signs, different names on places. I was really interested in place names, and still with also the way that the old painters, in very early New Zealand sort of nation-making paintings that were kind of a bit not true. They were like Britain of the South Pacific. So in those lies, I was really interested in the lies and how memories shift and things like that. Yeah, it's a very. There's lots of pictures of my thesis, which I was very proud of. So it's a real photographic journey as well, just sort of documenting those places. Yeah.
How amazing. And so nice to be able to kind of immerse yourself into that world and that, idea that you really wanted to develop and learn more about.
Yeah, I definitely had to go with an idea. Otherwise, you'd sort of scramble. But it's it's an intense process, and you can't really, you're not a very good person. I wouldn't recommend anyone who has a partner to go and do their thesis. It's very selfish. It's worthwhile, but it's all encompassing.
Yeah.
So I think I met my wife in the last 6 months of my thesis, which was not ideal. Dating wasn't that good at that time. I was not a good boyfriend at that time. No.
Oh, well, you got through it.
I did.
You got through the hard stuff at the beginning.
Yes.
That's always a good sign if you can make it. And what was I going to ask you? What was your actual work like for the exhibition in response to that idea and that research?
There was a lot of photographic work, actually, which was really nice to do because I hadn't shown that in a while. This is again because I'm a painter. So some photographic work, some text work, video work as well. I really, really love some video work. And that was just about almost documentary, but just moving across bodies of water. So just this really interesting place about basically figuring out Pākehā identity was about placelessness, that we're constantly trying to make place and feel like we belong. And so actually bodies of water felt really, really accurate for me. I was like, oh, this is where we're supposed to be, this unstable, uneven place that you can't really live, but still be welcomed and nourished and all those things that water does. But it was there was some real. It was called a surveyor, And it was still about mapping, still about identity, but it was a little bit softer, quite subtle work. Yeah. And really, not all of it was nice, which was really, really refreshing. Yeah, I think it leveled up my practice. It challenged everything. You couldn't get away with much because, yeah, there were no duds. Often, sometimes you have a dud in a show. There were no duds after 4 years. You really do. Yeah, you get pretty critical of your own work.
Yeah, I bet. That sounds amazing. And how did you actually communicate the work or the ideas behind the work this time to the audience
for the
for that show?
How did I do that? There was a room sheet which was really helpful. There's so many texts everywhere, but people still ask me what it's about. There's a room sheet that unpacked it a bit better. I think I tried to I don't know, I don't like being exclusive and keeping people locked out of the art. I love to invite them in, and often it's not helpful because even me talking, I sort of unravel and then it gets more complex rather than less. Or I confuse myself more and more the more I try to, which I love. I mean, I love the way that English actually is not a helpful language for getting detail across. You kind of just get sort of caught up in this bog of complexity, but then I'm like, oh yeah, come into this bog of complexity. It's really good. That's this is where all the fun stuff's happening. So there was a bit of that. The thesis was there, but again, you'd have to spend some time with that. But there was the work kind of just communicated and kept reflecting back on itself. So it was nice. It was
and I guess once again the works were sort of talking to each other.
Yeah, it was nice not having to be in the room to get them to talk to each other as well.
Yeah.
I could sort of. I think that's what I landed with that exhibition. That I went, I can leave the room now. It's so they can do their own job. Yeah,
which is quite refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I mean, there are artists who don't want to explain to people what the work is about, but it sounds like that's quite an important part of what you do.
Yeah, or I love to explain the entry point, and then I'll leave someone to it. Yeah. Cool.
And your sculptures.
Yes.
Well, I'm very drawn to the, the one with the red buttons all over.
Yes.
Can you describe that?
It is a piece of, again, I'm like, now that I've moved to the provinces, I'm a driftwood artist. It's a really, it is a piece of driftwood from the beach in Waitara where I live. And I've sort of been collecting these buttons. I don't know, again, you don't know why. I think listening to Judy Darrow, she's like, oh, you collect the things and they just there. And I was like, yes, finally Judy's the queen of collecting things just because. And that was, I mean, I'll just stand behind Queen Judy. There's something about nostalgia, but it is a red encrusted piece of driftwood that looks vaguely like a heart. I called it ox heart. And they're kind of monuments, and this is a little art school pickup of monuments that aren't permanent, they're not large, they're not phallic, they're not made concrete and stone, but they're these small things which you can hold or display. They just hold a bit of memory. And I don't know, some reason about the button, the lost button, there's something always funny about when you lose a button and really frustrating at the same time. Or you see someone with a missing, to see someone else with a missing button is funny, but to have a missing button yourself is
annoying.
The word. It's annoying. So there's something about that, the loss there, which is, I just translated to memory and loss and monuments. Yeah.
Amazing. That's really beautiful. And I think buttons, I mean, I have this really vivid memory of my mother's button box, which was in a tin black magic chocolate box, which is like super old school.
Excellent. Yeah.
And I mean, I just used to love sorting those buttons.
Yeah, maybe it's
they're beautiful. Buttons are beautiful things.
That's what artists. Maybe that's the art brain. I think the art brain goes, I need to sort these, or I need to look. Even looking through them, or the tactile feel of buttons,
and
or
the color,
and
the sort of shine or texture, especially the shine for me. I get so drawn to that kind of thing. And it's really an interesting concept of putting the buttons on the driftwood. Did you find the driftwood? First, and then get the idea.
Yes, and I went, what do I do with these? And then I went, these two materials can go together somehow. And they just sort of they're quite quiet works. They don't really, Yeah, but and I think the third dimension, the sculptural thing, is always a challenge. I am in awe of sculptors who can effortlessly do it, but I definitely struggle. But when they work, they work. But when they bomb, they really bomb. I think that's very different with painting. Sometimes paintings are okay; they're pretty good. But if a sculpture's not good, it's bad.
And what determines whether it's bad or good?
I don't know. There's I can't. Is there? I don't know. I think there's even a word for it. Like it's good art and bad art. It's just sort of flat, or it's I don't mean flat in the literal sense. I mean it's just sort of
falls flat.
Falls flat. Yeah, just disappoints. I don't know. I need to figure. I'd love to know because
well, it's quite a personal thing, I suppose. I mean, it might fall flat for you, but might not for somebody else.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, hopefully.
But if you're the artist, you can choose whether it's going to go out there or not. Yeah. And what other sculptures have you done?
I've done lots of things. I think I have lots of ambitions for future sculptures as well. I've done a sculpture on the Gulf, like with it a couple of years ago, which was, far too ambitious, but it was again another sculpture about memory. It was a scaffold castle in Waiheke, and they were adorned with pennants, like triangle flags, which I got high school students to, I think it was high school, primary school students to fill in, and I think it was dreams of the future or hopeful things. Oh no, people you miss. It was a memory. It was beautiful work, but far too labor intensive, and it was wrapped in sort of fencing wire that I then cable tied every single flag to. Almost thousands of flags, but that was my most ambitious sculptural work. Yeah, but
that sounds amazing.
Yeah,
bringing in the children to help you.
It's very cool. They've got way cooler ideas than I do. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's neat to be able to kind of bring them into your world.
Yes.
Memory Castle it was called.
That's right. Thank you.
Only because I wrote it down. And other sculptures, like freestanding sculptures that you display? Yeah,
there's a work, actually my thesis, which is really for PhD show, which was really good. It was a oyster shell from Waitangi up north, on a brass rod and a book, The Shock of the New, that sort of like really important art book that you read in art school that's printed in the 90s, so a little bit out of date. And I just love that sort of calling something new and The Shock of the New, and it was such an important book to sit, to an art school, and all of a sudden it's really outdated. And and in the oyster shell it had some manuka oil that you would smell in water. So there's something about the sensory thing which I think sculpture can offer you. There's more to painting. Is very visual, which is always what my go-to. It's 2D. I do live in a flat world. My the world is flat. But sculptures they do these other things. They kind of, you can stub your toe on a sculpture. You can respond to them in a bodily way. There's always. But I'm still learning. The sculpture thing I'm still learning. Installation's a little different because you can build a room, you can build an engagement, but sculptures they've got to stand on their own 2 feet, which is terrifying.
Yeah. And it doesn't have any text supporting it, I guess.
No, not often, no.
Yeah, in general.
Yeah.
And do you feel like, creating work that doesn't have text is harder for you?
There's normally no, it's kind of normally a relief because I haven't had to, work so hard at the language part. I think they're in my studio a lot longer. I have to sort of live with them a lot longer. There's some works in the upcoming show called Memory Weights, and they are just bowling balls that have crosses on them, and that's all. I mean, even that is like my out of having. There is an X on there still, but they're these sort of important things that you can hold. There's a certain weight to a bowls ball that, I don't know, remind me of something. And the way they sit, and they're temporary monuments as well. Yeah. So there are things. And I've got some other work. Yeah, I like just playing with, sometimes throwing out language and just purely playing with colour and form. Yeah.
And something like a bowling ball is has so many memories, and so many people have attached themselves to the ball, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
And, time and place and all those other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're beautiful objects.
They're just nice things, I was drawn to them first by the object thing. Yeah.
Interesting. So interesting. So let's just talk about your show that is opening tonight.
Yes.
Which is very exciting. It's called The Weight of Words. So it's opening tonight on from today till the 8th of October, 2022. So if you're listening to this podcast in 2040, it will be over.
Yes.
And your opening night tonight is from 4 p.m. onwards. I'm hoping to get there. And you are giving an artist talk at 11 o'clock tomorrow at the Keeper's Cottage in Tāmaki Makaurau, Auckland.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that show?
Yes. I first said no, obviously, when Jessica Augustin Cleary from Artful said, you should have, let's have a show, let's do this. And I said, yeah, group show sounds great and lovely and easy. And she said, no, solo show, you can do it. Now's the time, which is really, again, very generous and very kind of Jessica to encourage me to do that. So it was quite cool to do this show. And it is, I think even Jessica came up with the title, actually. I had a terrible title because the titles, again, then sometimes titles come first or they come absolutely last minute. But yeah, The Weight of Words. I was just interested with the space because of the Keeper's Cottage. It was the first keeper of the library in Auckland, and what was Auckland Art Gallery, which used to be the public library. So the first librarian, who wasn't even a librarian, lived there with his wife.
Is that in Albert Park?
Yeah, in Albert Park. And so it's this really odd old heritage building. Terrible for you can't hang artworks in the heritage building, which is the one downside. But yeah, so it's a really historic, important place, and I feel like there's something about the books and the language and that history there, which I think is why Jessica went, hey, no, this is a good show for you and you need to do this now. And so I've moved quite a few works in it, and so it takes up the whole building. It's not a huge building, but it takes up there's artwork in every room. Nice. And yeah, I've sort of filled one room, the floor is covered with some found paintings, which as I travel around the country, I've just found lots of landscape paintings by, I'm not going to say naive artists, but people who, Sunday painters, daytime dabblers, untrained maybe, but actually, and some of them are incredible. So I'm not saying untrained in a negative. I'm saying, wow, untrained. I should have untrained. And then I've sort of reinterpreted some text over those paintings. So I've it's a collaborative process, maybe through time. Actually, because some of them are dated in 1960s, or I think there's one in 1958 was the painting. So there's a really nice time lag between the old or original painting and the me painting. So there's a really nice connection between those two. And
so have you connected words to those old paintings?
I've made series, just sort of almost like a little bit of a long poem. So there's red text. They've got red text on these very green, lush landscape paintings of New Zealand. I think they're all New Zealand as well. So they're people painting New Zealand landscape.
And where did you find the paintings?
All around New Zealand. Yeah, just on my random travels. Up shops, mostly up shops, hospice shops. Yeah, a few antique stores. But
how amazing.
Yeah, I don't even know how many. This is what's so fun. Like last month, I haven't even counted how many. There must be over 50.
Wow.
But it's a very cool, seeing them, again, because my studio is not huge, seeing them together for the first time in the gallery, it's really cool. It's another reason to have a good show.
And how have you actually displayed them? Are they kind of in order with the words?
Yes, so they just got sort of run in lines in the room. Again, because you can't hang anything on the walls in the heritage building, they're all on the floor, so you can't even enter the room. It's really kind of nice that it's almost like the Anthony Gormley sculptures, where it's those clay sculptures that fill the room, but in my own way.
Wow.
Yeah. And then,
great.
And so I've got, memory weights, which are these bowling balls. There are some takeaway text works, which I like doing a little bit. I always find it really hard to get my friends and family involved, and sort of like, actually you can take away art or you can buy art, but actually this takeaway will help you get there. And there's some gold leaf sort of found driftwood things. I'm really, really excited by Heavenly Bodies at Auckland Museum. But there was a great storm. Well, during those storms we just had in Waita, all this wood was washed up on the beach, which was an incredible sight to see. But I just thought about, what's an unheavenly body? What if the heavenly bodies are washed off and it's just this gold leaf remains? So they're kind of sculptural, they're paintings, they reference paintings, but they're sculptural floor works. So again, that's probably why I like playing with the language of painting and sculpture as well. Yeah. And I've got another video work. There's lots in there. Some of my favorites are some necklaces which are the readouts of different sites. So during the New Zealand Wars, even Albert Park was a Albert Barracks. So it was, but originally before that it was a PAR site, Pukerangi. So all these places. So I'm still playing with memory and time, and I don't think anyone will ever want to wear these necklaces. They're not supposed to be comfortable to wear. They're copper. They're oxidized copper. They're kind of, and hopefully they'd feel heavy to wear because they're sort of a bit of a shameful time. And I always try to bring up certain things in different ways. Yeah.
So would that kind of thing be good for on the wall if somebody
it could be
own it?
Yes, I think. Again, I'm like, I don't know. Would you want to own a bad memory? They're not good memories. So, I like playing with that because there's some other things. Just a work on a series of books which I just painted. I Remember Rivers, which is a very obscure reference to kind of my train of thinking. I remember mountains. I remember rivers. I remember oceans. Kind of this idea of what we remember about New Zealand being here. If we strip it all back. If we take away everything, there's sort of some real foundational things. So that's just part 2 in the series. Yeah. Did some other work at Te Billboards, which was I Remember Mountains, but a photographic work which said that line. Yeah. So there's lots of I just want to keep playing.
It's so fascinating. You've just got it's really it's such an interesting discussion to hear how you think and the things that you come up with. And so with your show that's on starting tonight, is it something where you are thinking about making some money and selling the work, or is it more about communicating?
Yes, the second. It's interesting because it's curated by Jessica from Artful, so it is still part of that world of the art market. I think money's always there; it's always in the background. It's not the motivator for the show. I think it would be lovely if someone wants some things.
And
totally.
How will you sell the collected paintings with the red text?
That's a tricky one. I'm not sure that's totally for sale. It's a bit of a weird one. I don't know. Maybe if someone has a nice huge house, they may be broken up one day. Maybe that's a way to do it. But there's sort of some painters just say that, which I'm not sure anyone really wants a that on their wall. I would.
Idea.
There's a we which I quite like. There's a really good we.
I actually love that idea. People could have the poem or the writing as a whole and own a part of that. I think that's actually quite cool.
Okay, all right. You've talked me around. Yeah, no, they're for sale. Everything's always for sale, but I'm not sure it's really nice to step out of that for a moment and just come and look at this show, and it's for art, the art week kind of time, even though it's not really happening. Yeah,
which is pretty cool. I mean, I think it's hard for artists to have exhibitions anyway. In some ways it can be, and then that sort of idea of needing to make some money or wanting to make some money versus what you're trying to do in your practice.
Yeah, and then sometimes you just compromise. You say, no, this isn't a money one. This is a fun. This is a brain one. This is a engagement one, and it's I mean that's why you have a full-time job, so I can relax. Again, I'm not, because if it was if things were for sale, would I make work about the New Zealand Wars? I'm not sure. I don't think I would be as it would be a lot more it would be safe. It's not a safe show. I mean, it's still safe for most people, but it's not safe for me as a painter who sometimes needs to match a painting to someone's couch. So these won't match your couch.
No, which isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing, really. And I guess you haven't got those other sort of considerations that you sometimes have to, have as what you're doing when you're exhibiting work. It's actually nice to just make that decision that actually this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing it.
Yeah. Which
is probably good for all of us artists to know.
Yeah.
It can be that way too.
Yeah, and it can, it's not sustainable. I couldn't keep doing it. You definitely need to make some sales. That's not, it is, again, it's a pretty luxurious moment in my life that I don't have to worry too much. I have a very supportive wife and good job, so that helps. Yeah. But it's not always been that way.
So you do have so just before we go on to that, so that's Jessica Agustin Cleary from Artful, as you said, and we talked to her a few episodes ago, which was great. So you are part of Artful, showing your work online in the online gallery.
Yes.
How do you find that?
Good. I love art but even Jessica will be like, art online, which is what I think she's definitely got her head really, really clear about what that means. I think it's a really cool platform. It works really well. It's really nimble. And again, it was definitely in lockdown. It makes absolute sense in lockdown. And I love that now we're out of it. COVID's all over and gone. We're doing this project. So this is the first project that they've done outside of in the real world. And it's a cool connection. It's cool to be able to translate that from an online presence to real life, rather than often it's the other way around. We're trying to get this real world thing online. So it's a really nice, not backwards. It's kind of like the way it's meant to be. It's actually let's do projects, and I think that's what's fun. Yeah. And Jessica's, she's got a background in it. She's the curator. She's very, very easy to work with, which is great. Yeah, she knows what she's doing. Yeah. And there's also there's an exhibition, like a mini exhibition of a number of artists in Queen's Arcade. Yeah. Coming up under Artful as well. It's part of Art in the City. Yes. Which is great. So it's a neat opportunity to be part of that establishment, I guess you'd call it, and be one of the artists for Artful, and then you've got those opportunities for other projects as well. And it's a cool community as well. There starts to be a little conversation going, and it's just little sparks here and there. Yeah. Totally. Well, do you want to say anything more about your practice before I go on? I think that's it. I don't know. So good. Yeah. It's ongoing. I don't know. I do, I turn up to the studio and I see what happens. Yeah, I'm busy, which is good. Yeah, that is good. Yeah. And do you have commissions? No. I can't imagine you working terrible. Like that. I'm terrible. I'm also I'm a little bit snooty about commissions. I do love I love a commission. Bring them my way if anyone wants to commission me, but I've definitely got to a point where I'm like, but I need to do my thing again, which is very lucky to be in that position. But yeah, no, I've just got shows coming up. I've got a show back in Taranaki. I've got a show in Harbour. I've got hopefully another one with Hannah Carpenter and at Grey Space. Yeah, great place. Great. Yeah, so there's things happening. Yeah, you just kind of, things are always on the boil. Yeah. And you are working full time as a lecturer, is that right? Yes, lecturer. Wow, I didn't actually realise you had a full time job as well as a full time artist. Well, I mean, teaching, which I love the teaching. It is being an art. It's the best job. The teaching and student and art part, the paperwork part is mind numbing and soul destroying, and there's definitely some problems with the Polytechnic system, which I'm sure everyone is now aware of. But I've got I'm going to get to work with some cool other art tutors as well, and the students. Some of them don't even know how good they are, which I'm sort of. Sometimes I don't tell them because they need to relax. But it's a very cool job. Well, it's nice to do that after you've been through it yourself. Maybe you can tell your students that they can make it. Yeah, and yes, and it is in New Plymouth, so it's quite a small town. So I also say we have international airports. You can go away, and there's Wellington and Auckland. They're just a few hours away. So there's the opportunity for creativity in the region isn't great. There are tons of artists, but to get I think where you want to be and where some of them should be, they probably need to go to those main centres, which is a shame because we lose them. Yeah, it is a shame. Yeah, that's an interesting concept. I mean, it's an interesting conversation, isn't it? Something we could actually have another podcast episode about, probably. So, and what is that place that you're working? Polytech? At WIT, so Western Institute of Technology at Taranaki, so Te Kura Matatini or Taranaki. Yeah, it's a very cool Polytech. I love it. It's one of the smallest in the country, but it's sort of one of the gruntiest. Yeah, it's very cool. That's brilliant, and it's a lovely way to give back and to pass on your knowledge and your experiences, and then to help people grow in their own art practice. I hope so. Yeah. They don't Google me. They don't know what I do. It's quite great. It's kind of very good for my ego that they don't care. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. It's brilliant. And it's I think you'd be a really good teacher.
I think so. I don't know. I think so. It's fun, and it's one of those energy jobs. You don't get to the end of the day and you're drained. You get a lot of energy from it.
Buoyed by it, yeah. And there's so much going on when you're teaching that, so much that comes, you give so much and you get so much back.
Yeah, it's very cool.
The admin's pain in the
Yeah.
It's teaching across the board, I think. So just thinking commercially, you have had lots of solo and group shows over, that 20 odd years at galleries like Tim Melville Gallery and North Art and Northcote, Te Tuhi, Silo 6, Mangere Art Centre, and Nathan Homestead.
Yes.
And many more. So are you actually connected to one gallery in particular, or, how do you work alongside galleries?
I would love to work alongside galleries. No, I've recently, been let go from 2 galleries, which is a very, very interesting part of the art cycle. Yeah, so I was with a couple of galleries for for about almost a decade, or just over a decade. And I don't know, time moves on, things change, people change. I'm not a very details-oriented person, which is very important. If you are going to be with a dealer, you need to have those ducks in a row. Different reason for that. So I think it's an interesting relationship you have with dealers. Everyone wants one until you get one, and then as soon as you've got one, you're going to go, oh, do I really want this? And they're sort of expecting me. The expectation's really high. And then as soon as you don't have one, you realize how important they were to you. So there's a really interesting mix. It's quite a cool relationship. If it works really well, it's awesome. You can really sing, and if you're on the same page, awesome. You can really get a lot of good work done. They're great because they're great promoters of you, even not just to sell your work, which is a great bonus, but even to just have engagement relationship. They're connected into other things that you're not. Yeah. So I'm a fan of the dealer gallery. I'm not sure it's not for everyone. Yeah. There's compromises to be made.
Yeah. And how are you wanting to show your work if you're not showing in galleries?
There's actually lots of regional things, regional galleries, artist run spaces, independent spaces. I think I kind of came from I was at the tail end of when artist run spaces were just in that boom time, when rents were cheap, buildings were grotty, everything was a pretty run down and ragged, and you kind of just smell of an oily rag kind of production. And now things are it's quite hard to do that. It's quite hard to be just sort of wing it or do this artist collective thing without CNZ funding or a benefactor or a patron. I don't know, there's something about that, but actually moving away from Auckland has sort of opportunities have arisen because of that. And just think there's actually more out there. Applying for things. I apply for galleries, and there's more of those public, like the Mangere Art Centre and Corbyn's and all that stuff. Te Tuhi, there are proposals out there every year. They roll around, and every year you keep applying. It's definitely, that's maybe the admin side of the art world that I'm like, oh, this again. But it's really important because also it refines your practice as well. You start going, what am I actually making art about? And 100 words or less? How do I say this in 100 words? This is why this podcast is great, because I've had well more than 100 words. So that's why it's probably important.
Yeah. And there's still so many opportunities. It doesn't actually have to just be the dealer gallery. That can still be great.
Yeah.
But there are other things, especially on that regional level.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love that, regional galleries and just kind of the art centres and smaller communities.
Oh, they're just as vibrant. Yeah, it's really which I didn't know. I was very arrogant Aucklander moving to my small town. I'm thinking my art career's over. Nothing will ever happen. And I think I've had more shows this year than any year since. So, yeah.
That's so good. Yeah. Well done. And I know you're not a details admin guy, but how do you find, running a website, social media and that kind of stuff?
Instagram easy because it's, again, Insta, it's quite, and maybe that's what's very. I mean, I'd spend 20 minutes trying to get the right pithy statement rather than the images seconds. So that's probably the hard part of Instagram. My website is. I like it. I don't think websites. Do we people still go to websites? I don't know. It's funny how quickly technology becomes a bit old fashioned. It's like Facebook. I mean, my mum's on Facebook. Why would I want to go on Facebook if my parents are there? So I don't know, but again, they're really, really important. It's so important to be on there.
But Instagram, I think, for artists is such a great way to sell work, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very cool. And people, and the reach is pretty amazing. Although there is one downside. My students say, I just want to make art that looks good for Instagram. And I went, oh no, we've gone too far.
Yeah.
But I always challenge that. And I do. Yeah, I love it. I love it as a medium for ideas as well. Yeah, it's a real ideas generator as well. It's hard because if you get too stuck and caught up on it, you can start to look like everyone else. But as your own document, it's really, really nice.
Yeah, that's a great sort of personal gallery. Yeah, and it is nice when you follow artists you're interested in. It's a great way of keeping up with what's going on, I guess.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it's really, I love it. It is that instant thing that I just think is the positive of the interconnected world. Lots of negatives, but plenty of positives.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, there's pros and cons for sure. All right. Well, believe it or not, we're at the quickfire question time of the podcast.
Is it gone? That's very quick.
1 hour, 10 minutes.
Okay. Wow. And I talked fast, so this is well done. Okay.
I know, we've got a lot covered. So good. And it can be quite cathartic, can't it? Actually kind of talking through your world.
Yeah, and even hearing something like, I think I do believe what I'm saying. Well, okay, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's amazing what you can actually clarify in your own mind when you speak it through, and probably artists don't do that.
No, we just think our thoughts. We don't speak our thoughts. Yeah,
puts it into another perspective in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, favourite artists, Elliot, and how or have they influenced your work?
Very mean question. So I have prepared. I've got. Can I do a quick list?
Yes.
Henrietta Harris and Marita Hewitt. So those two were art school friends. Pretty much, week 1, week 2, really solid friendship, and they're still today working. Incredible artists. Blow my mind. Much better artists than me. I'll put that out there. Benjamin Work, sort of new friend, incredible artist. He's just had a show at Bergman Gallery. Just came down. Keeps working, doing it, and actually at Te Uru. So yeah, quite incredible. Emily O'Hara was a PhD friend, and she's stayed my friend, and she is such a wonderful artist. Casually had a baby in the middle of her thesis as well, no big deal. So she's an incredible artist, and still someone I try to copy every day. And John Reynolds, he was a really, really important artist for me to. I got to work with him or for him. No, for him. But he thought it was but it was definitely for him. And he taught me how to make art. Not make art, how to be an artist, and how to take breaks, and how to look, and how to be very serious and very playful at the same time. And text as well. So he was sort of like, no, you play with this thing. And he hates painting, which is great. Just not a painter. He doesn't like sticks with hair on them. And Julian Dashby and Bill Colbert, who aren't with us. So those are those people who I got privileged enough to work with, and amazing people, sort of just generosity outflowing, and lots of gifts. So but if an artist I'll never meet, Ed Ruscha, I think, American artist, Californian artist, he's one I'll probably never meet, but probably a hero of mine.
That's a great list.
Yeah, good. Okay, sorry, you said one.
I love that. It's really awesome that you've included people, good friends that you admire artistically, and those John Reynolds. I mean, I can see the influence.
Oh yeah, and just energy. He's got energy.
And he was kind of ahead of his time in some ways.
Yeah.
For New Zealand with his use of text.
Yeah, I think, and still, I feel like he's just cool. He's very cool.
I love his work so much. Yeah, love it. Thank you. That's great. And as an artist, what is your biggest challenge?
Money. Come on. I think inspiration's often really. I say inspiration's easy. Artist block outside of depression. Artist block is a really, really hard thing. But I mean, creativity comes really, really easily to me. I think I don't struggle with that. I mean, inspiration comes easily. But money and self-doubt, imposter syndrome, all that stuff's still there. Even after, I'm like, even like looking at my CV, I'm like, I've done some things. But if they find out that I'm not good, if they find out that I'm just winging this thing, oh, look out, or it's all for nothing. So, yeah. And it seems like things like reinforced by lack of commercial success is really, perceived commercial success is a real like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I'm not good because those 53 paintings on the floor didn't sell. All these, these sad things didn't sell. So yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah, money is a tricky one. It's really emotional. It's very attached to energy and time and effort. So yeah, I think money and art, you never learned about that. You never learn about money at art school as well. So yeah, it gets in the way.
Well, that's the best answer I think I've heard so far.
Is that all right?
Which I'm sure everyone can relate to in some way. Yeah, so true. And what would you say to your younger artistic self?
Oh, actually, I've got this. Don't compromise your creativity for a client, gallery, trend, or try to fit a style. I think that's a really, no compromises. I think just find which I, again, learnt the hard way. So I'm not speaking from experience. I'm speaking from experience at the other end. Just find your groove. Find your groove and keep going with that. That's a much better way to do it.
It is hard though, isn't it, at the beginning when you're starting off to know your groove even.
Oh yeah, and you're just buffeted by everything and influenced by everything, and you don't have a keel. You just sort of rudderless. But I think when you do find it, stick with it. It's served me well lately. Not very early on. I didn't follow this instruction as a young artist.
But, hindsight's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And also just kind of having that idea that you're going to keep going and keep persevering, and it's only going to get easier in that way.
Yeah.
The more you do it.
You know? And ideas will come. Yeah, things, and if it's not good now, it'll be good tomorrow, or all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
And why do you think you make the kind of work that you make?
Oh. Why do I think I think I'm the only one to do it. Again, from my lack of confidence, I have a strange confidence that I'm like, oh, this is important that I do this this way, because I think, I'm the only one who thinks this way. And so surely it's important. I don't know. What do I make the work? It's the only thing I still haven't found anything. I haven't found a sport I'm good at, which is, I'm still waiting, maybe swing ball or something. Or, I don't know. It's breathing. It's sort of how if you don't, it's an exhale, being poetic. It's all these things which help you through. I don't think my art's therapeutic for me. I'm sure art is therapeutic for some people. It's not for me. It's hard work. So I don't do it I don't know how to deal with anything, but if I don't do it, I get pretty scratchy. So it's definitely a way of being that. Yeah. And then, I think I think there's about 10% of it is the showing. The shows, the presentations is about it. I think the making is a big part of it. Yeah, you have to do it, otherwise you're not really breathing.
Another good answer.
Is that all right?
Yeah. All right, Elliot. Well, I better let you go because you've got a show to open.
Got to go and get ready. Yes, do some light dusting.
Yeah, and preparing. Have a bit of a nana nap in the afternoon.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Yep. Thank you. We'll be doing that.
And hopefully I'll see you tonight. But it's been such a joy to meet you, Elliot.
You too.
You are a really interesting guy, and I think this podcast episode will be so interesting for so many people.
I hope so. Should I ever listen to it again?
Absolutely. You can just
listen to myself.
You can push play and regurgitate it at your artist
and say,
talk.
That's true. I said some good things.
Yeah, you could do some lip syncing.
This Elliot guy sounds quite smart.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, all the best for your show coming up, and thank you so much.
Thanks, Mandy.